Okay, so picture this. You find your dream job. You spend hours polishing your resume, writing that perfect cover letter, only to find out the first person who reads it isn't a person at all. It's an algorithm. Yep. Today, we're diving deep into how AI is totally changing the game of getting hired. And really, it all comes down to this one big question, right? Can a robot actually hire you better than a human? I mean, can a machine, without all the messy human emotions and biases, make a better, fairer call in your future? Or are we just swapping one set of problems for another?
And look, this isn't something that's coming in the future. It is happening right now. Just look at these numbers. The use of AI in hiring literally more than doubled in a single year. That's not a slow trend, folks. That's a massive shift. It's a tipping point, and that's exactly why we need to talk about it.
All right, so when we say AI in hiring, what does that actually mean? Let's get into what this new kind of recruiter is all about.
Basically, it's about using smart tech to automate chunks of the recruiting process. You've probably already run into it, right? Maybe it's a chatbot answering your questions on a careers page, or it could be a super complex system on the back end, sorting through thousands of resumes to figure out who's the best match.
So, why the huge jump in adoption we just saw? Well, it boils down to these three big promises. Companies are betting that AI will make hiring way faster, a lot cheaper, and maybe, just maybe, a better experience for you, the candidate. The big question, of course, is, does it actually deliver? Okay, to really see what this looks like in the real world, let's talk about a huge company, Unilever. Just try to imagine this. They get more than 250,000 applications for only 800 entry-level jobs. How on earth do you even start to go through that pile? Well, their answer was to turn to AI to handle the flood.
And the first result? It hit the bottom line, big time. By automating just that first screening step, Unilever saved £1 million a year. I mean, think about that. That's a huge chunk of change they can now pour back into things like training or finding even more great people.
But you know, it wasn't just about the money. Not even close. We're talking about 50,000 hours of human time saved. For everybody, the recruiters and the applicants. Suddenly, the hiring team wasn't just buried in paperwork. They were freed up to do what humans do best. Actually talk to people, build relationships, and connect with the top candidates.
And then there's the speed. This is just incredible. They cut their hiring time by 75 to 90%. What used to be a 4-month-long slog became a 4-week sprint. In today's market, being able to move that fast, that's a game changer. But honestly, this next part might be the most important result of all. All that speed, all that savings, it didn't hurt fairness. It actually made it better. Because the AI was focused purely on objective skills, Unilever saw a 16% increase in the diversity of the people they hired. It's a pretty powerful argument that when you use it the right way, AI really can help level the playing field. Okay, so that's the promise. But, and this is a big but, for every promise, there's a peril. The very same tool that can strip away bias can also, if you're not careful, pour gasoline on it. And that, right there, is the heart of the debate over AI and hiring. And here's the dilemma in a nutshell. On one side, AI can be this amazing force for fairness. It can be programmed to ignore your name, where you went to school, your gender, all of it, and just focus on your skills. But on the other side, if you feed that AI a diet of biased data, say 10 years of your company's flawed human hiring decisions, it's not just going to learn your biases, it's going to turn them into a super efficient automated system for discrimination.
And believe me, this isn't just a theory. There are some very real and pretty scary stories of these algorithms going completely off the rails.
This really says it all. Biased training data yields biased AI outcomes. It's the classic garbage in, garbage out problem. And AI is a mirror. If you show it a history of biased hiring, it's just going to reflect those same old prejudices back at you, only now at lightning speed. So let's talk about the most infamous example, Amazon. Back in the 2010s, they decided to build an AI to help them sort through resumes. Makes sense, right? But here was the fatal flaw. They trained it using a decade's worth of their own hiring data. And that data, like a lot of the tech world back then, was overwhelmingly male.
And the result was a complete train wreck. The AI basically taught itself that men were better candidates. I'm not kidding. It started penalizing any resume that even had the word women's in it, like captain of the women's soccer team, or that listed an all-women's college. It was so bad that Amazon realized they couldn't fix it. They had to pull the plug on the whole thing.
And this stuff isn't just embarrassing, it's illegal.
Take the very first AI lawsuit that the US government got involved in. What happened? A company's AI was programmed to just automatically toss out older applicants. It was systematically rejecting women over 55 and men over 60. And the result? In 2023, a major settlement. This set a huge precedent that yes, you are responsible for what your algorithm does.
And it's not just about bias. There's also security to worry about. I mean, check out this story. A hiring platform used by McDonald's had a security flaw so simple it's almost funny. A default password of 123456. That one tiny mistake led to a massive data breach, and suddenly the personal info of 64 million job applicants was exposed.
So, okay, the stakes are clearly high. The potential is huge, but so are the risks. So how do we move forward? How can companies actually use this stuff responsibly? Well, the answer isn't to just throw AI out the window. It's about being smart and careful. So let's talk about a framework for doing this right. Really, it boils down to 3 simple but non-negotiable steps. First up, you have to audit your AI. That means you're constantly checking its work, making sure it's not accidentally discriminating against certain groups. Second, and this one is so important, keep a human in the loop. The AI should be an assistant, not the decider. It can recommend, but a person has to make the final call. And third, be secure and transparent. That means locking down applicant data and also just being upfront with people. Tell them when and how AI is a part of their hiring journey. And this really points to what the future of hiring should look like. It's not this big showdown, AI versus humans. The best way forward is to think of it as a partnership. AI plus human.
So here's the model that works. Let the AI do what machines are great at, crunching the data, handling the boring scheduling stuff, finding patterns in thousands of resumes. That frees up the human recruiters to do what we're great at, building relationships, figuring out if someone's a good cultural fit, and making those tricky, nuanced calls that an algorithm just can't handle. And look, this future really is possible. This idea of smarter hiring without the bias, it's not just a nice slogan. We can actually get there. But, and this is the key, it won't happen by accident. It's only going to work if we're incredibly thoughtful and careful about how we build and deploy these tools. So at the end of the day, there's no doubt that AI is completely changing how we get hired. The question isn't if it's happening anymore. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Are we ready to build a future that isn't just faster, but is actually fairer for everyone?